Have you ever wondered if the grocery store you trust with your family's food is actually putting them at risk? The sad truth is, some of the most popular grocery chains are falling short on food safety, risking your health every time you walk out with your cart. Shocking, right? From selling contaminated products to ignoring critical safety regulations, these chains have been caught red-handed. But who are the worst offenders? Which stores are putting profits over customer well-being? Today, we're revealing the 8 grocery chains that have racked up the most alarming food safety scandals in 2025. If you've been shopping at any of these places, it might be time to take a hard look at your options. Before you put something dangerous on your plate, this isn't just another ranking. It's a wake-up call. Stick with us as we count down these names and make sure you're not one of the millions unknowingly risking your health. Your next grocery trip could change everything. 8. Meijer. Kicking off our list at number 8 is Meijer, a widely recognized chain across the Midwest. Known for its variety and budget-friendly prices, it has long been a favorite for shoppers. But in 2025, Meijer is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. This year alone, a startling 28% of meat samples from their shelves tested positive for dangerous bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella. Think about that. That's double the national average. Want to know why? Meijer sources much of its meat from massive factory farms with a reputation for unsanitary conditions. Worse yet, the chain doesn't even have in-house butchers, leaving customers unable to inspect their cuts of meat before buying them. Customers have reported alarming issues, from meat with slimy textures to packages emitting foul odors the second they're opened. The safety problems don't stop at the meat counter. Meijer's dairy section had 2 major recalls this year due to listeria contamination found in its store brand milk. And pre-cut fruit, moldy. To top it all off, the fruit allegedly contains harmful preservatives banned in the EU. Despite growing complaints, Meijer stays silent on where they're sourcing these unsafe products. If you take food safety seriously, you may need to rethink your next shopping trip to Meijer. 7. ShopRite. Coming in at number 7, ShopRite is a big name across the Northeast, but many are wondering if convenience is worth the cost to their health. This chain is under fire in 2025 for foodborne illness outbreaks that just don't seem to stop. The FDA has slapped ShopRite with 4 separate recalls in only 6 months due to severe contamination in items such as prepackaged chicken, ground beef, and deli meats. A study this year uncovered that 35% of ShopRite's poultry contains antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Imagine the consequences when even cooking your food thoroughly can't eliminate the risks. ShopRite's produce is no safer. Customers have repeatedly pointed out the moldy, pesticide-laden fruits and veggies on display, which often appear to have passed their expiration date long ago. The real shocker? Tests found chemicals on these items exceeding the FDA's safety limits by more than 400%. And while we're in the deli, ShopRite's cheese deserves a mention, not in a good way. Shoppers complain that deli slices develop mold within days of purchase, a sign that refrigeration standards may not be up to par. The root cause of these problems? ShopRite's continued reliance on cheap suppliers and lower quality food sources. While their prices may bring in budget-conscious shoppers, they also bring huge risks to your health. Shop at ShopRite, but consider the gamble you're taking with every bite. 6. Lidl. At number 6, we've got Lidl, a discount grocery chain gaining traction in the US thanks to its rock-bottom prices. But before you get excited about saving money, you need to hear this. Customers nationwide are flooding social media with complaints about spoiled meats, expired milk, and pesticide-heavy produce from Lidl store shelves. But the real nightmare is what's hiding in their food. Independent food safety inspectors recently tested Lidl's meat products, finding fecal bacteria in a jaw-dropping 1 out of every 5 samples. Their freezer section is no relief either. Lidl's private label frozen products were hit with recalls this year because they contain toxic heavy metals like lead and cadmium. Long-term exposure to these metals can lead to serious health problems like brain damage. And those cheap prices on fruits and veggies? There's a dark cost. Lidl imports much of its produce from overseas, relying on artificial ripening agents banned in other countries due to links to cancer. Meanwhile, over in the dairy section, customers are raising red flags about milk and cheese containing high levels of hormones and antibiotics. This overexposure could disrupt your hormones or even make you resistant to crucial antibiotics. Lidl's strategy of cutting costs comes straight out of your health savings, and in 2025, it's escalated to a full-blown crisis. If you're thinking about making Lidl your primary grocery store, you may want to reconsider your decision, especially if the health risks feel too big to ignore. 5. At number 5, Kroger. At number 5, Kroger ground beef were pulled after E. coli contamination spread across dozens of states. That's not all. Store-brand chicken products tested positive for salmonella in 18% of samples, which is triple the national average. These alarming numbers trace back to Kroger's heavy reliance on massive factory farms, where sanitation standards and antibiotic use are major concerns. Add to that the fact that harmful bacteria are becoming resistant to antibiotics, and you have a recipe for trouble. But the contamination isn't just in the meat aisle. Kroger's dairy section has been a repeat offender this year. Listeria outbreaks prompted recalls of shredded cheese and yogurt not once, but multiple times. And what about their organic milk? Tests found it contains more synthetic hormones than allowed, raising concerns about the organic label's credibility. Guess what else is in trouble? Kroger's produce department. Analyses revealed pesticide levels in their fruits and vegetables at a shocking 500% above U.S. safety standards. Strawberries, sold at Kroger, even tested positive for chemicals banned in Europe. Pre-washed lettuce, labeled ready to eat, had dangerous bacteria in 40% of tested samples. Frozen foods weren't safe either. Complaints about traces of plastic and metal in Kroger veggie mixes have become disturbingly common. Worst of all, Kroger is slow to issue recalls, leaving many customers unaware of the risks until after they've consumed the products. For a company so large, you'd expect better quality control. But in 2025, Kroger feels like a gamble every time you load up your cart. 4. Stop and Shop. Coming in at number 4, Stop and Shop has become infamous this year for food safety failures that are too serious to ignore. Once a trusted name in the northeastern United States, its record in 2025 has been filled with alarming recalls and scandals. Customers were shocked earlier this year when pre-packaged ground turkey sold at Stop and Shop was found to contain dangerous levels of salmonella and antibiotic-resistant bacteria. This wasn't just a headline. Over 75 people were hospitalized, a crisis that highlighted the severe flaws in their meat suppliers' sanitation practices. What's worse? Even after the contamination was exposed, Stop and Shop continued sourcing from the same supplier with little accountability. Stop and Shop's issues go far beyond meat. Their pre-cut fruit and vegetable packs have been linked to numerous foodborne illness outbreaks this year alone. Testing uncovered listeria, mold, and off-the-chart levels of chemical preservatives banned in other countries. One major investigation discovered that 1 in 3 produce items contained pesticide residues known to disrupt hormones and cause long-term health risks. If that's not scary enough, customers frequently report that these items spoil so fast that they hardly make it home before rotting. The dairy department at Stop and Shop isn't much better. Only a few months ago, the chain recalled thousands of gallons of store-brand milk due to bacterial contamination that landed many in the hospital. Even worse, their eggs weren't spared either. Multiple tests revealed salmonella traces, prompting many to question how closely this chain monitors its suppliers. And if you think their frozen items are safe, think again. Hidden additives and undeclared allergens in store-brand frozen meals have caused several allergic reactions, with consumers left blindsided by misleading labels. Despite all of these alarming problems, Stop and Shop continues to lack transparency. They regularly source meats, dairy, and produce from controversial factory farms that are notorious for using antibiotics, hormones, and artificial preservatives extensively. With poor quality control, high contamination risks, and a lack of clarity about how food is sourced, Stop and Shop has become a significant hazard for anyone trying to eat safely in 2025. 3. Food Lion. At number 3, we have Food Lion, a southeastern chain that's become a dangerous gamble for shoppers looking for safe groceries. Known primarily for its low prices, Food Lion's corner cutting has led to an increasing list of food safety crises in 2025. The chain's ground beef has turned into a health hazard. Investigations revealed E. coli contamination in Food Lion's beef products at rates 4 times higher than the national average. 1 in every 5 packages of ground beef tested positive for this dangerous bacteria, sparking widespread illnesses across multiple states. The problems with meat don't stop there. Food Lion's poultry section has faced repeated recalls due to salmonella, with store-brand cuts of chicken breasts and drumsticks loaded with harmful bacteria. Customers have complained endlessly about slimy, smelly chicken that spoils far too quickly, further proof that Food Lion's food handling practices are failing consumers. Food Lion's produce isn't immune to contamination either. Tests have shown pesticide residues on fruits and vegetables that exceed FDA safety limits by as much as 600%. Bagged salads and prepackaged greens have been especially troublesome, often harboring high bacteria counts that put customers at risk of serious illnesses like listeriosis or E. coli infection. Even their pre-cut fruit packs are an issue, as many shoppers report finding moldy or rotting slices despite seemingly fresh packaging. To make matters worse, Food Lion's dairy products have been plagued with bacteria and additives. Earlier this year, batches of shredded cheese and butter were pulled from shelves for listeria contamination. Yogurt and milk products were also flagged for containing artificial hormones that pose long-term health risks. What's truly frustrating is that Food Lion has made little to no effort to improve these horrifying practices. Their reliance on low-cost suppliers with poor safety records only proves that profits matter more to them than your well-being. If you value your health, Food Lion is a store to avoid at all costs in 2025. 2. Save-A-Lot. Save-A-Lot has gained a reputation as the place to shop when you're on a tight budget, but in 2025 it's one of the riskiest grocery chains in terms of food safety. Plagued by 6 major recalls this year alone, Save-A-Lot's products have exposed customers to more than just spoiled or low-quality food. One of the biggest scandals involved ground turkey contaminated with salmonella and even metal fragments. Yes, metal fragments ended up in products meant for human consumption, and this put several people in the hospital. A staggering 30% of the chain's meat products tested positive for harmful bacteria, leaving little doubt about the quality of the food being sold. Spoiled meat is not an uncommon complaint at Save-A-Lot. Customers frequently report opening packages of beef, chicken, or pork only to be hit with rancid smells or find discoloration. Even more concerning are the allegations of dishonest labeling, with expiration dates being changed to sell what should realistically have been discarded. How is that even allowed to happen? The problems extend into the frozen aisles, where their products have failed safety tests due to allergens like peanuts and soy mysteriously appearing in foods that aren't supposed to contain them. Their frozen vegetable mixes and ready-made meals frequently test positive for contaminants, making their frozen food section a health risk in itself. Dairy at Save-A-Lot has also caused alarm. Thousands of gallons of milk were recalled this year after bacterial contamination left unsuspecting families dealing with severe illness. Cheeses and processed dairy products have also been flagged for dangerous additives and questionable preservatives that are banned in several countries for their potential health risks. Save-A-Lot's reliance on cheap international suppliers with poor safety standards reveals a troubling picture of how this store cuts corners. Even with its appealing prices, is saving a few bucks worth risking your health over? For many, it's simply not. 1. Amazon Fresh. Finally, at the top of this dangerous list is none other than Amazon Fresh. Known for its high-tech stores and seamless delivery services, Amazon Fresh might seem like a modern shopper's dream. But behind the sleek branding lies one of the most unsafe grocery chains in 2025. Out of all major chains, Amazon Fresh boasts the highest rates of food recalls, contamination incidents, and customer complaints. Their meat department is completely scandalous. A shocking 42% of ground beef samples tested positive for E. coli or other pathogens. Salmonella was found in nearly 1 in 3 chicken packages, and some of the meat was spoiled upon arrival due to poor storage conditions during transit. Customers reported vacuum-sealed packages with visible mold or unbearable smells. This isn't a one-off problem. This is systemic. Amazon Fresh's dairy department might be even worse. Over 500,000 cartons of milk and cheese were recalled this year after listeria outbreaks were traced to their products. Even plant-based milk alternatives didn't escape scrutiny, with undisclosed allergens causing severe allergic reactions in consumers. Eggs sold by the chain have been flagged for containing harmful antibiotic residues, setting off alarms about their unethical sourcing practices. Produce from Amazon Fresh has drawn just as much criticism. Pre-washed lettuce tested positive for bacteria more often than not, and pesticide residues in berries and leafy greens were an astounding 700% over legal limits. Amazon Fresh also imports many of its private label products from unregulated overseas suppliers, and this comes at a dangerous cost. Several frozen meals sold under their brand label contained heavy metals like lead and cadmium, which are extremely toxic. What drives this issue home is Amazon Fresh's poor customer support when food safety problems arise. Algorithms run their inventory systems, so contaminated, spoiled, or mislabeled products frequently slip through the cracks. With so much at stake, Amazon Fresh has earned its infamy as the most contaminated grocery chain in 2025. Think twice before trusting them with your groceries. In conclusion, food safety is a crucial factor to consider when choosing where to shop for groceries. The chains highlighted on this list have faced significant issues with contamination, raising concerns about their practices and priorities. While convenience and pricing may play a role in grocery decisions, ensuring the health and well-being of you and your family should always come first. Staying vigilant about where your food comes from and advocating for stricter safety standards can make a meaningful difference.